Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here, greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Holy smokes, it is hot outside. Really, really hot outside. I went out walkies to Walmart very early. Well, not very early. Early-ish today, and it was hot. It's supposed to get into the 90s. So, yeah, I've been staying in, and it's 3:30-ish. So it's late in the day, and I've had trouble staying awake. You know, the heat, so joy on that. But I've been watching videos, and not much more. Yay. Part of it, of course, is still my knee. I mentioned before how a couple days back I leaned against the soft mattress on my bed, and the inside of my right knee sort of squidged like a soft plum instead of a ripe apple like your knee is supposed to be. Now, in the past couple years, even once here, I have had situations where I have raised up my left foot onto my right knee so I could wash my legs and feet. First time this happened a couple years back, but all of a sudden my left leg sort of came out at the hip and was starting to drift out this way. And that was not good. So I quickly got my foot down, pulled everything back into place, and I've been careful. Did the same thing a couple week and a half ago, where I was taking a shower, lifted up my leg, put it on my knee, and started to feel my leg drift, and it came out about that far from the socket before I went, whoa, got everything back in. So that's not wonderful. But this morning, I was going for a walk, and I threw my right leg forward, and my right leg from the calf down swung outward like your foot's supposed to do when you walk. And everything inside of that knee just sort of squidged. So on the 10th, yeah, I'm getting an MRI, talking to my doc. I mean, that's not good. You're not supposed to be walking and have the force of walking separate and squidge around the joint capsule of your knee. So I'm hoping that these are all just nothing, because it would suck if it was something. So that's one of the things that's been beating up my brain. Yay for that. What else do I have written down on my list? I only have 2 things written down because of my life. But the second thing, I've mentioned that in my solo RPG setting, where the Elvandri, the doors of this world, they came up from deep below the earth. And in fact, ages back, hundreds of thousands and more, well, millions of years ago when they first started, they were creatures that lived in the mantle of the planet, sliding between the seams of melted plastic rock. But something chased them up and out, and they adapted and altered as they came up, until when they pierced the surface and came out through their exits, they look like quote-unquote traditional medieval dwarves. They don't act like them because they refuse to go back underground. They will not go into their exits, and they become nomadic as best they can. They will not go underground. And if anybody goes underground, within the first day, you start to see things out at the corners of your vision constantly. Now, the reason I told that story is as you get older, the jelly and fluid in your eye starts to fracture and separate and pull away from things. I have had floaters in my vision because of that for, I've got, because of my denture cream here. Sure, I could edit this part out. But I have had decades of floaters, but they've been minor. But they have gotten a lot in like the last year and some. When I talk about people having constant something's moving in the corners of their vision, that's me. Now, I am just sitting in here constantly seeing stuff moving at the edges of my vision. But it's the floaters. When I look, of course, nothing there. Turn my eyes a little bit, nothing there. But when I move my eyes a little bit and I'm looking for them, there's these great big old things that go whoa across my vision. They're always there. So when I have my point of focus right here, the floaters out here are going to block light and shadow or create what looks like shadow, and it's going to seem like movement, but it's just the floaters moving around. That part of getting old sucks. But I remember even as a kid, excuse me, and I mean as a young kid, when we were very young, we lived in a very large lot with a large house that my grandfather built. So it was back when stuff was cheap for white people. But this was when I lived there as a kid. My grandparents raised me. Good Lord. But I remember looking up into the sky, into the blue, blue sky, and watching the floaters moving by. So I've had floaters from fractured jelly in my eyes since forever. Thing is, because it's jelly, and even though it dries out, there are things you can do that will rehydrate, and you can get rid of some, if not most, of the floaters in your vision. You need to talk to your various doctors and all that to find out what you need to do, but it can be done. You don't have to live with, oh my God, things are moving all the time. Most of the time it doesn't bother me. In fact, 90% of the time it doesn't bother me. So I don't worry about it, except when I see movement at the corner of my vision. Thing is, though, there are tiny things that do move. Over on that side of the room, I have the curtain in the bathroom doorway. And I have box fans, and the AC unit usually is on. That moves. And so that'll catch my vision periodically. And then over here, I have my bed with a sheet that will move because of the box fans. I have, if you've noticed, various flags. I got one on that wall that even now, even with the fans off, it just went woo because of air currents. So there's stuff that moves. So when I'm hit with the something that doesn't move, the floaters, it gets really confusing and but usually it doesn't bother me. But this is what it's like for people that go below the ground. Except, of course, for the 2% of the population that are immune to this effect when they go below ground. And I say immune, it's only roughly immune. But it's only 2% of the population that does that. By coincidence, about 2% of the population are those who become adventurers, PCs in games, murder hobos. And it's only not all people who are immune to this effect are adventurers, but a good 98% of the people that are adventurers have this immunity effect. And immunity is not. It's within a week of going below ground, and not all below ground, but definitely below ground in one of these exit areas where you enter where the Elvandri used to live, that is definitely, you go in there, this effect occurs immediately. Other places like mines and such, you have to pass a certain level and no one ever knows where that is. It's sort of oops. But when you go inside, you have about a week's countdown, because about sometime between day 8 and day 10, you will no longer be alive. Your body will be found in very mysterious circumstances, in very suspicious circumstances, but there'll be nothing to ever go, wow, this was done by something awful. Instead, you'll be found dead in a room where no one could have gotten in or out, but you got murdered. And everybody who comes below ground has this happen, but they start off with the first day. You see in the corners of your vision constant movement. Day 2, you hear all sorts of things constantly. Day 3, you start getting intense paranoia, while all the other effects are getting stronger day after day after day. So that first effect, you're seeing stuff, each day gets worse, while a new thing piles on top of it. And then again, by between day 8 and day 10, you're not going to be alive anymore. But if you're the adventurer type with this thing, what happens to normal people in a day takes about a month. So you've got time. It will get you. Whatever chased the Elvandri up is powerful, but it takes its time. Boy, I can speak English. But it takes a time for the effects to happen. And who knows if these effects are the same effects that chase the Elvandri up. Maybe these are just the, now that you're out, this is what's to keep you out effect. Possibilities. Especially since over on the continent of Lanua with the Dwaylen, well, yeah, it took me a moment to suddenly figure out where my brain was. This effect is constant worldwide, except on the continent of Dwaylen, Lanua, where the Dwaylen live, there is speciation just like most of the other species. So there are things like subterranean, cave-dwelling Dwaylen. They're not primitive, they are just subterranean. But they can live underground, in caverns. And if a cavern goes bad, it's just that cavern. As long as they close it off and stay away from it, they're fine. They can go down further and open up caverns even below that. So there are differences in ways, but it is odd. So thumbs up for that. But past that, because of the weather, because of my computer just having gone south, because it's so difficult to do things on a tablet, I have not been online much. Then with my knee, so I can't go out walking all that much, I've just been either falling asleep in my chair, or trying to use Game Pass on the tablet, or watching videos. Yay, I've gained 5 pounds. Ugh, it sucks. But I'm hoping to go on walkies later tonight. You know, if I can't, I can't. If I can, I will. So thumbs up. And hopefully you will get done whatever you would like to get done, whether it be something nice and fluffy or something deep and heavy. But even if you do, no matter what it is, even if you do, I don't even know what I meant by that, but no matter what it is, just be good to yourself and don't beat yourself up if you can't get it done. I suddenly can't speak, and my sincere apologies. If you're a Patreon patron, thumbs up, thank you, it is appreciated. If I could put your names up here, I would. I cannot at this time, but as soon as I can, I will. But if you are a Patreon patron, know this: when you look in the mirror, you are looking at someone who is beautiful and awesome, physically, emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. Thumbs up, and thank you. If you've left me a comment, I have tried to answer as many as I can see. YouTube, of course, does not show me all of them. And in fact, it's just a nightmare. So there's a lot of people I've never even noticed that there were comments from. My sincere apologies to every one of those people, though they're not going to be watching this, but still, it needed to be said. And for everybody else, I answer as many comments as I can, which is not as many as I would like, and I can't answer as many as I would like because of my nerve compression. Hopefully I've got appointments coming up to get that done. Hopefully I didn't accidentally skip over one. That would have been bad. I need to contact my doctor on that one. Yay. Excuse me. So I'm going to just edit, render, upload, take it easy, go out walkies if it cools down, stay in if it doesn't. I'm going to turn my AC unit back on so I don't die. And I had it on last night and I slept pretty good, and that's a good deal. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And that is indeed a very, very good thing. There's just been nothing happening. I've just been trapped with my injured knee, and my consoles are dead. My computer is 99% gone. It's been falling apart, even with the wireless. If that hadn't been the thing that had died, it would have been something else. I have to massage the USB ports constantly because things are not working. Until I wiggle them, then they are again. So, anyway though, I'll talk to y'all later.